Okay, what if you could build a real complex app without writing a single line of code? Sounds kind of like a fantasy, right? Well, a product manager over at Meta with literally zero technical background figured out exactly how to do it.
So let's just dive right in, because today we're going to break down his exact 7-step playbook. And I mean, this is a system you can literally copy to build some pretty significant products, even if, the mere thought of looking at code makes your palms sweat.
All right, here's the roadmap for today. We're going to start with that zero to superpowers feeling, then talk about forging your own AI CTO. We'll get into the weeds of the 7-step build workflow, see how he makes AI models peer review each other, which is wild, and build a system that actually learns. And then we'll wrap up with what this means for the future, because it's big.
Okay, so it all starts with a problem that I'm guessing feels super familiar to a lot of you out there. You have this amazing idea, right? But that technical wall, it just feels impossibly high to climb.
So this is Zevi Arnovitz. He's a product manager at Meta, but his background isn't in computer science. It's in music. For him, code was just terrifying, like a totally foreign language. And then everything changed. He saw someone on YouTube build an entire functional app just by talking to an AI. And that was it. That was the lightning bolt moment. You know that feeling? When a new tool comes along and it doesn't just make you a little faster, it unlocks a capability you never thought you'd have. All of a sudden, he realized, wait a minute, I don't have to be a traditional coder to be a builder anymore.
But of course, he immediately ran into a huge problem. See, the standard AI models, right out of the box, they make for terrible technical partners. And the reason is actually pretty simple. They're programmed to be, well, people pleasers.
And this is where things get really interesting. Look at the difference here. A regular ChatGPT, it's a total sycophant. It'll just nod along and riff on your dumbest ideas without a second thought. So Zevi built his own, a custom-prompted AI CTO. This thing isn't an assistant. It's a true technical co-founder. Its job is to challenge him, to actually own the technical side of things, and most importantly, to stop him from going down those terrible rabbit holes that a normal chatbot would just encourage.
Okay, so you've got this concept of an AI CTO, but how do you turn that into a reliable, repeatable process you can use every single day? Well, that brings us to the real meat of this whole thing, a battle-tested 7-step workflow, and it's all organized around these simple, reusable prompts he calls slash commands.
Think of this as the entire assembly line for building something new. It literally takes a random thought that pops into your head and turns it into a fully finished, documented part of your product. So let's walk through what each of these steps actually does. So step 1 is all about capturing lightning in a bottle. Picture this, you're deep in your work, in the zone, and bam, a bug or a new feature idea just pops into your head. Normally, you'd have to stop everything, but here, you just use the command /create_issue, dictate the thought, and the AI instantly creates a ticket for it in your project management tool. You never even have to leave your flow state.
All right, next up is the real collaboration using /exploration phase. Your AI CTO starts acting like a real engineering partner. It scans the entire codebase, and then it starts asking you smart, clarifying questions to help flush out the idea. And then, once you're both on the same page, it generates this super detailed step-by-step plan. And then, it's time to build. You just type /execute plan. The AI takes that blueprint you just made together, and it writes all the code. Just like that. This is where the whole thing goes from an idea to actual working software.
Okay, so this is the crucial question, right? The AI can write code. Great. But if you can't read code, how on earth do you know if it's any good? How do you review it? How do you find bugs? Well, this is where the playbook goes from just clever to, honestly, genius. Zevi's solution? He makes the AIs review each other's work. He basically built a team, and he gives them all personalities. First up is Claude. Claude is his main collaborator, kind of the perfect collaborative CTO. Super smart, very communicative, and just a great partner to bounce ideas off of.
But what happens when you hit a really, really nasty bug? That's when he calls in the specialist, Codex. He describes Codex as the genius in a hoodie sitting in a dark room. You don't bother this one with small talk or brainstorming. You just hand it the worst, most impossible bug, and it comes back with the fix, period.
And then, for anything visual, he brings in Gemini. Think of Gemini as the crazy, artsy scientist. It's super talented at designing beautiful user interfaces, but watching it work is apparently terrifying. It might just delete the entire dashboard and then rebuild it perfectly from scratch.
So by having these different AI personalities peer review the code, he creates a system of checks and balances. Their strengths cover for each other's weaknesses, all run by AI.
But here's what makes this whole thing truly powerful. It's not just a static workflow. The entire system is designed to get smarter over time. It treats every single mistake not as a failure, but as a chance to upgrade itself.
So when the AI inevitably makes a mistake, and trust me, it will, he doesn't just fix the bug and move on. He runs a special command he created, /learning opportunity.
And what this does is create this incredible feedback loop. He asks the AI, hey, what in my system prompt or tooling made you make this mistake? The AI is forced to find the root cause of its own error. Maybe it was a flaw in its core instructions or a gap in the docs. Then he updates those source files, which is kind of like patching a flaw in its brain so that exact mistake can never happen again.
So let's step back for a second. What does all this actually mean? We're talking about a system where one person, a non-technical person, can build, review, and constantly improve complex software. What does that mean for the future of work? What does it mean for you? I think this quote really nails it. Zevi's point is that professional titles are starting to collapse. It doesn't matter if you're a PM, a marketer, or a designer, we're all becoming builders. The most valuable skill isn't just knowing how to write code anymore. It's knowing how to direct, manage, and really leverage these insanely powerful AI tools.
All right, so let's do a quick recap of the whole playbook. First, the big problem. Building software is intimidating if you're not technical. The solution? Create a structured AI workflow with custom prompts, your own AI CTO. The workflow itself is that 7-step process, starting with a simple idea using /createIssue and ending with the AI writing the code with /executeplan. To make sure the code is good, you create a team of different AIs like Claude, Codex, and Gemini to peer review it for you. And maybe the most important part, you use every mistake the AI makes as a /learning opportunity to make the entire system smarter over time.
Look, we're in this new era where, for maybe the first time ever, you don't need a technical co-founder or a ton of investment to build something real. The playbook is right here. It is genuinely the best time to be a learner, an experimenter, and a builder. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build?